Okay, so it's blend shape time. And I was just looking here, and what did I do? Okay, so I got the eyes in here in my geometry group. I got hair. There's my teeth, my both sets of teeth, upper and lower, tongue, and body. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to group those. Okay, so I got a group for them here. And I'm just going to call that base underscore group. Okay, and it's sitting right down here. It's organized under the geo group. That's cool. Okay, and I'm going to take this and let's see, how shall I do this? Let's, for convenience sake, let's go and make a duplicate of the group, and then I'm going to unparent it. I'm going to stick it over here. Okay, I'm going to put this geo group, I'm going to put that onto its own little layer. I'll just call this geo underscore layer. Okay, boop. And now I can hide that. In this base group here, we might even take this and push this back this way a little bit. Okay. This group here for the control group, actually I'm going to put that on its own layer too. I should have done this last video, but whatever, I didn't. Ha ha ha! Okay, control layer, and I can hide that. And then I got a skeleton group here. And if I just go ahead and I put that onto a layer, skeleton underscore layer, whoop, good. And then I can hide that. Okay, so I'd move this back a little bit so I can deal with it. It's a little bit easier to organize. Because this thing was bound, you'll see that these things are locked off here. Okay, I might just grab these all at once, and I don't know if this really matters. If I grab all their things here and I unlock them, I right-clicked and I got that menu. Okay, this is my base group for making blend shapes. And what I'm going to do for making blend shapes, let's go in here and I'm going to grab a vertice. Boop. I'll just hit F. I grab one right in the middle of the chin here. How about this one? I always like to grab that one for some reason. And I'm just going to hold down Control and right-click, Grow Selection, and I'll just hit G a few times. La 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 la. And I'm expanding quite a bit down to the bottom of the neck, up into the lower part of just below the eye here. That's looking good. Maybe I'll expand one more time. Okay, some of these I don't need, but that's okay. I'm going to use this as a way to explain some tools I'm going to use. I'm going to grab all these vertices, and I'm going to go here to Deform, and I am going to create, where the freaking hell did I freaking move this thing? Cluster. Boop. Cluster. La la la. And a cluster is basically just a group of vertices. Okay. And I'm just going to go to the right view. Let's hit If. Zoom out. The pivot point for the cluster, I'm just going to hold down D, and I'll move it just in front of the earlobe. I find is a good spot. Maybe a bit lower, right there. Okay? Because basically this cluster, we're going to use it to open up the mouth here. Okay, so I just did that. Do I have too many? Do I have not enough? It looks like I've got too many. Okay, so I'll point out, first thing, if we got too many, or if we don't have enough, we could... Actually, I just realized there's some extra nodes in here I didn't get rid of. Can I just delete that without any pain following me? There. So that we, only on the body do we have like a cluster here. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, that still works. Okay, great. Boop. And remember, when you're looking at anything I'm doing, I have display, shape, hidden, underworld nodes on. Okay. Now when I select this, if I go into Deform, and I go to Paint, Weights area here, there's a Cluster Weights. Okay? So we don't want to go there just yet. I'm looking for the Paint Set Membership first. And for the Paint Set Membership, if I click on Cluster Set 1, we can see all the vertices that I have that are associated with this cluster. Maybe I've got a couple too many. So I can use Add, Transfer, or Remove. I can also put on Reflection so I can get two sides at once, so I can speed myself up a little bit. And maybe I'll get rid of some of these behind the ear, because these seem a little bit over the top. Okay, some of these ones on the neck, okay, maybe I screwed up. Okay. And maybe I wanted some of those in there. I'll go back to add. A couple of these might come in handy. Who knows? Just a little bit of movement there might look good. And I get everything in the mouth pretty much. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go to the deform, and I'm going to do the cluster weights. Okay, now we get black and white values, and they show us what's added and what's not, and it looks like I screwed that up pretty bad right there. But that's okay. We'll work around it. I'm going to go and use replace. I'm going to turn the value to 0. And I'm going to go into the stroke area here and turn on reflection. Kind of hiding more and more of the stuff. If I hold down B, I can change the brush size. And typically what I do is I come in here and I remove everything around the outside here and up into this cheek area. Okay. And okay, that looks good. What about down here? And I can totally get rid of this here. I could remove that in either one, really, if I wanted to. The paint set membership or the paint cluster weights. Okay, so we're just going to pull these back, and then I get into this mouth area here. I'm just going to make my brush a bit smaller, holding down B, and remove some of these weights here. And actually, sometimes I find I also have to use isolate. Get rid of some of the stuff in the inside of the mouth. And remember, the mirror, or the reflection is not always perfect. So sometimes you'll find it gives you funky results. But I'll say that's good enough for now. Okay, cool. And then what I do is I go to smooth and I just hit flood a bunch of times. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Flood, 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 flood. And do we get the display? Actually, that's strange. How come I do not have the ramp display? Well, whatever. I'll live without it. If I go back here to replace and I put up a value of 1, I can make sure that my jawline is really, really hard. Okay, I always find this is really good to have this really hard. Okay, all your jaw stuff. And then the stuff around it, we can go to smooth, and I can just kind of paint in the smooth here. Okay. And we should check it. Let's see what it looks like when I grab the cluster handle now and I try to open and close the mouth. Okay, that's not too bad. I could almost have a bit more in the upper lip, but that's looking pretty good overall. So all I really wanted the cluster was, I wanted it to go in and just use it to open and close the mouth. When I open the mouth, okay, great. Now you'll see that the teeth aren't following, and either is the tongue. So what I'm going to do is zip into Window, and if I go here to General Editors, I'm looking for, Smoking Crack, Relationship Editors, and I go into the Deformer Sets, and I go to Cluster Set 1, and here if I scroll down I can see, freaking menu is too small, so I'm going to get big. There we go, there's the base group, and I can see the body's already hooked up. I'm going to hook up the lower teeth and the tongue, and now they're part of the cluster when I open and close it, and that's what I want. That makes me happy. Okay, so we got the cluster set figured out. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to start using this cluster to help me make faces. And I could spend more time making this cluster perfect, but it's just, like I said, it's open, close the jaw. That's basically all I want. First face I'm going to make. I'm going to go and make the ah face. And actually, it feels like my weighting's really bad on this, but whatever, I'm going to try to go fast. I go and I open up the mouth, and then I go and take this, and I'll make a duplicate. And I'm going to take that duplicate, and I'm going to run with it over this way. And when I made the duplicate, I did it of the group. Okay, let's rename this group, and I'm going to call this Ah. Okay, so now we got a group named Ah. Then I go back over here to the cluster, and let's use the rotation tool on it again. And let's make sure that the mouth is slightly open. Teeth are just still something like that. Okay, great. And And then I'm going to take the base group here, and I'm going to make a duplicate again. Grab the move tool, pull this one over here, and we'll call this one E. Okay. And let's go back to the cluster. So we got the E, we got the A, the E, and then we got to do an M face. So let's go and grab this tool and rotate it up, make sure the mouth is closed, something like that. Okay, cool. And grab this, make a duplicate of the group again, and this one we're going to call Okay, and where am I? Let's just go in. Next one we're going to do. Oh, I didn't move it over, did I? La 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 la. There's my face there. Okay, the next one I was going to make over here. Just open up the mouth slightly, a little bit more than the E. Okay, still not open too much, but right there. Okay, and this one's the hardest one of all the freaking faces. I'm going to go and make a duplicate of the group over here, and I'll move it over. You can move these out better if you wanted to, but I'm going to call this my O face. That's the one I always think is the hardest one to make. But then when I do it, you'll sit there and go, "How'd you do it so easy? Oh, you suck." And here, I'm just going to zero this puppy out for a second. And what do I got? Zeroed it out. And then I'm going to go and rotate it slightly. And sometimes I use a little subtle move kind of thing here, and I'll move it back. Okay, and what this is going to be my F face, my F and my V. Whenever I'm making F or the V noise, I typically want my face to do something like this. Okay, and I'll make a duplicate. Over to here. Great. And did I name that? I did not. There. And we could also make a smile face too. The smile face that we're going to make, how about we just grab that cluster and we put everything to neutral. So I'm just going to take all these things, zero them out. And I just want a neutral head to start off with. So I'm going to take the base group and let's make a duplicate. And just for the hell of it, let's push it over this way. And actually, I'm going to make... No, don't. There. We'll make that one and we push it over this way. And I'm just going to make sure I have that named. Smile. Smile! Great. And so there's all my blend shape heads. And then what I've got to do is I'm going to go in and let's see, let's bring back the geo layer here. I'm going to let's get in my hypergraph for a second. I'll go in here to the A face, the E, the M. Actually, even before they do that, just hold on a second. One more thing I want to do. Let's grab this body here for a second here. Just going to go and hit F on this. And I want to make it smile. I'm going to make a cheap, crazy, quick smile. If I grab the vertex here, corner of the mouth, let's say there. And let's go to the move tool, double click. And if I turn on geometry or symmetry settings, and I go to Object X, and then when I grab this, does it grab one on both sides? Okay, cool. And then let's turn on my soft selection. So I got soft selection on both sides, and I'll just take this and I kind of go into a bit of an angle. Okay, pull it up and over, and then I'll just rotate it a bit. This looks completely psychotic. And when I'm making this too, another little trick you can do is if you go to soft selection, I have that on, instead of volume, if you switch it to surface, okay, when you go in and you move, say this vertex here, okay, and get both sides at once, and you'll see that it doesn't grab geometry on the other side here, so I can make these kind of crazy psychotic smiles. Okay, we'll call this good enough for now. That looks crazy. Actually, I don't like that. I liked it better the other way. Let's go back there. No, I don't like it that way at all. Let's go there. And I'm really fussy about smiles. It takes me a little while to get exactly what I want. And then, so I got this. And actually, just for the fun of it, I'm also going to take the smile, and I'm going to make a duplicate of that group. And I'll move this over here. And we're going to call one of these smiles, we're going to call this one here, well, how should we do this one? This one here, we're going to say that's smile R. And then this will be smile left and smile right, basically. Okay, and what do we got? Then I grab the A, the E, the M, the O, the F, the smile left, smile right. And I'm going to ignore that base that I made over here, because that's just one I use for generating blend shapes. And if I go zipping into here and I find the base group over here, and I select that last, okay, and I go into deform, create blend shape, and edit, reset settings. Okay, great, there's nothing funny going on. I've just made a blend shape. Okay, and the blend shape, if I go to Window, Animation Editors, Blend Shape Editor, I can see I've got a slider for everything right here. Okay, let's just take a look. And so I can go Ah. I'll check out my E. E doesn't do anything yet. Okay, great. The O. And again, these don't really look right at all in the smile. Oh, this is horrible. Smile left and smile right. Okay, so should I break this into two parts? We'll try. I'm going to try and do the video all in one shot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and quickly correct any problems I have, like the A face. Typically the cheeks are going to go in, okay, and I'll do something like this. And as I correct these things, if I go back and I look at the one here, the base shape over here, when I do A, it's fixing it. Okay, so everything I do here can be added to the next one. So let's go in here. I'm going to grab a vertex in the corner of the mouth here. Let's go back. When I'm doing the E face, should look something like this. Okay. And again, just go and check. Every time you fix it, check. E. Still doesn't look quite right, but I'm trying to go super, super fast. There's my face, right? And if I go in here and I grab the corner of the mouth, yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about this one, but whatever. Okay, and just keep going back and checking. Okay, so okay, it works fine. And the O sucks. The O. Okay, so I got to make sure that my soft selection is very minute. Okay, and the O is the corners of my lips tend to go in. Like this. Okay, actually it looks like I'm doing this relatively quickly and it's not working out too bad. And then maybe these will come out a bit, and actually let's make that a bit bigger. All I'm doing is holding down B and middle clicking, and okay. And I'll say that's good. And again, we go back and check. Did that work? Are people going to buy this? Ooh. Okay, great. And actually, how does the F face look? The F face almost kind of works, but really that lip needs to come back. So I'm just going to go over here really quick. And what is it? I'm closing in on 20 minutes. And grab these vertices here. If I just hit the up arrow, then I can go back and pull these back a little bit. I'm just trying to get that so the teeth are actually resting on that lip, and that's looking not too bad. Okay, and then the smile left, smile right thing. Okay, the smile left, smile right thing. What I need to do is I can grab the base, and if I go into deform and I go to paint weights blend shape, now sometimes this doesn't work, and you can see right now it doesn't look like it's going to work. I'm going to close this down. What I'm going to just quickly do is I'm going to have to reboot. I suspect if I reboot and I go here, everything's going to be fine. So I'm just going to pause. Okay, so I just did a reboot, and here, let's check it out. Did it work? If I go into deform, blend shape, open up the options box, boom, just like I said. Okay, and what I can do is I can paint the weights of these objects in here, and I'm having a funky time in here. Smile left. So if I go back here, window, animation editors, open up the blend shape editor, and I put the smile left on. Typically what I'll do is I'll trigger it on, move this over, and so the left hand side of her face is over here, right? So I want to get rid of the right hand side. So if I use replace with a value of 0 and I come over here and I start painting, I can take it away. Okay? I could do this a number of ways. Probably if I thought about it, I could do something funky like just take it, remove the whole thing completely. But here I'm going to say this is good. Just make my brush bigger. Okay, and I'll just kind of go and check it. Is there vertices? There's some over here, so I'm just going to remove those. Let's see, does that... Okay, so it's just one side of the face. Okay, and I'll say it's good enough for now. And then I can switch to the smile L, or smile right, sorry, turn that on. I go over to this side, and I can remove the influence from this side as well. And so now my character, I can make them smile from the left and the right based off of the same model, essentially. Okay, and I don't know how important this is going to be to anyone here, but you never know. This is a nice little tidbit of trickery to check out. Okay, anything moving? Okay, just hold on a second. I should move this so I can see everything. So there's the right side and the left side. They move together. And it looks like I might have to do some kind of painting in here and bring back the value, or even if I put on smooth. Okay, smooth that in, grab this one, smooth that in. Okay, and then I have a better smile. And so there's my blend shapes. And maybe one final thing to note here for organization and keepsakes. You might say, well, you know what, I don't know if I need all these things around. You can actually delete them if you want to, but I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to grab all of the groups. Okay, so I got these ones. Actually, let's just go in here and select all these things. Okay, so if I grab all these things, and I could put them into their own little group as well, but I'm going to put them onto a layer here, and I'll call that like blend shape layer. And I just spotted one more problem. Blend shape underscore layer. Okay, something just occurred to me, so I can hide that. I can hide my... There's one other problem in here I spotted. I select the mesh here. The blend shape's living above the cluster node, and that's not going to work when you animate. So here it is. If you right click and you go to inputs, you can actually go into all inputs, and you can middle click, drag and drop, and move the order around. And it looks like I probably have to do that for all these objects in here. I bet you any money. This one here, same thing. Middle click, drag and drop. Middle click, drag and drop. And where's the tongue? Is that the tongue? Teeth lower. There's the body. I can't tell where the hell I am. Let's hit 4. There's the tongue right there. And middle click. Boop. There. And now we're done. The blend shapes are done. Oh, did that not work? Doesn't look like it worked. Maybe I have to reselect. There, reselect, and it switched around. Okay, cool. So that's it. And save. Save what you're doing. And make sure you're saving in footsteps. Otherwise, you'll start crying when you crash. Either you're going to have to document yourself crying, because I want to see it.